Alright, so we're back here with the final part of this conversion slash restoration slash cleanup project here for Battletoads, and I have all the artwork. It has arrived safely and it's in fantastic shape, fantastic condition. I love the quality. It's got a polycarbonate laminate over the CPO. So the first step will be to get the side art applied. Oh, that's going to fall. Oh, that's alright. Set this aside. Put this back up here. There you go. So player 1, player 2, player 3. And this has been custom sized for a Konami control panel. So it's ready to go. Well, the artwork's ready to go, I should say. I'm going to actually apply the side art. Then I'll set the camera up, and I have to actually, I put the monitor in here and got the hole locations made. So I got to drill the holes to mount the monitor for the bolts and the nuts. And I'll get that done and we'll proceed from there. So let's see, 1 second. So there you have it, side art's installed, both sides, looks great. Normally I would have used a squeegee, but this didn't come with any mask over it, so you saw the process there. I just kind of used a microfiber towel and applied it, and then used some, I use actually stuff for cars, quick detailer, spray on here so I can actually really work on it to get it to apply better. With the microfiber towel. It also removes any of the excess contaminants on the outside of the art and really makes it look better. So I do it that way. So you saw the process, that's how it works. I wish it was full side art. If I was to really dive into this for my own personal collection, I would have designed something that's full side art. But this will work just fine for being in the arcade. And both sides are done now and it looks great. So now we'll move on to getting the holes drilled for the monitor, get the monitor permanently mounted. I went and actually got all the hardware for the control panel and joysticks and the monitor mount, and I had a piece of plexiglass cut for the screen, and I'll be damned if I didn't leave it at the hardware store. So now I have to go get another one cut because it's been a week before I even realized I left it there, so it's gone. So now I got to buy another or make another leg stand piece, but that's no big deal. And then we'll get to working on the control panel and get this thing fixed up. So actually, you know, before I do this, I'm going to work on the marquee. I got to wire it up so it actually lights up again. I took all the wiring out down here when I did all this, so I'll get the marquee working again. Then I'll get the marquee done so we can see how that looks, and then I'll work on the monitor. So here we go. Alright, so I got the marquee system all wired back up into the power switch and everything, and it lights up. So let's look at a before. Flip this on. There's the before. And here is the after. I was able to get all the original adhesive off from those black pieces on the side and the tape on the back and everything with some denatured alcohol. Denatured alcohol works phenomenally for getting all of that goo and stuff off. It works better than Goo Gone. I recommend denatured alcohol. This stuff here, denatured alcohol, works fantastic at getting all that residue adhesive off of there. But there it is. It's coming together nicely. Now it's time to get the holes mounted, or holes drilled for the monitor, get the monitor permanently mounted, and then see where we can go from there. Alright, so got the holes drilled and the bolts installed, and the monitor is nice and secure. It doesn't go anywhere. It should be perfect. I know it's dirty. You know, I could have cleaned all this, and in retrospect I probably should, and it's not too late. But for now I need to get this project done because I've been working on it too long. It's taking up space in the garage. And you know, after all of this I got to come in here and clean all this back up and still do the wiring properly, get rid of those wire nuts and whatnot. So that'll all be done, don't worry about that. But I still, I need to get this done. So in the sake of that, I'm going to go ahead and just finish this up. And you can see the bolts lined up perfectly. There's one, it's hard to see, there's two, 3, and 4 back in there. Actually, I probably should have I put the bezel back on, but took this off, and there we go. And I need to get some washers for the underside because the nuts are kind of sinking into the wood a bit, but there are lock washers on there, and the bolts are kind of small. So I'm actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to take this back out and clean the monitor off camera and get some longer bolts with some washers so they don't sink into the wood a bit. But for all intents and purposes, the monitor is mounted. So I need to get some denatured alcohol. I'm sorry, denatured alcohol, and clean all this residue off from these stickers from the old game that this bezel was in. I also had to trim it up a bit. So it's time to get working on probably the coin doors next. I'm going to clean them up and paint them and put them back in here. Then I'll begin work on the control panel, getting it all done, wired up, and that should finish the whole project up. So 1 second here, we'll see how it turns out. Okay, coin doors are done as far as I want to go with them. I got 4 brand new locks up at the business I'll put in when I get up there. But I just, off camera, I just masked everything that needed masked and shot them with a rattle can of gloss black. And I don't have an extra assembly here for this. This is just got some electrical tape on there until I forgot. When I ordered all my parts, I forgot that this was missing. So I just cover that up for now, and I'll put the correct piece on there. I've got it ordered once it comes in, so this isn't going to stop me. So I just covered it up for now in case I get this done up at the business before it arrives. So that's the reason for that. But everything else was masked off and rattle canned, and it turned out great. Of course, it's self-explanatory. I didn't show any of it. You just sand down the areas that are rough and mask everything off and paint it up. So coin doors are back in, and now it's on to the control panel. So let's see how that turns out. Actually, let me show you the original panel before I go through and do the after. I guess I should show you the before. So this is the panel as it is. You know, there's the giant holes for the guns. I've got some metal plates. Instead of plugging this the way that you should, instead of plugging it and then bonding it so it's nice and flat, I'm just going to put a metal plate over this with 4 screws in the corners because, like I say, this is going into a public environment. It's not going to be for personal restoration and a personal protection, personal collection. So I really, you know, if I was going to have this in my personal collection, I would have gone full 9 on this. You know, everything that needs to be done. But because it's going to be abused and used and put in a public environment, I'm going to clean it up as best as it needs to be, as presentable to where I'm happy with it. And I'm just going to put some cover plates over that. So I'm sure a lot of you can agree with my, you know, mindset on this. But anyway, so this is the original panel. You know, the holes are there. This can't really be reused because it had 4 players on it. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, you can see there's 1, 2, 3. Someone's plugged that one up there, and then 4. So this all has to be replaced. Unfortunately, when I was doing my X-Men cabinet, I made I made 2 panels, one for the X-Men and one for the future. It just so happens I have an extra panel here, so I am going to use this. I have to take this off and toss it, and I'm going to use this panel here to accommodate my needs for a new one. I have to drill the holes, and I'll get the overlay on it. The overlay doesn't need a Lexan because it's got polycarbonate laminate on it, so I won't need, but I will take the overlay and wrap it around the edges and tuck it underneath the T-molding. I still have to actually make a T-molding slot, but I'm going to actually put the CPO, wrap it around the sides and tuck it under the T-molding so kids can't come up and rip off the corners. So that's the before, and let me take this off of here, get rid of it, and put my cover plates on, get it all sanded, paint it, get the holes drilled, T-molding slot cut and all that. So stand by and we'll watch the process. And here it is. The control panel box is done as far as I want to take it. The plates turned out real nice. Blocking that one and blocking that one turned out real nice. Everything's, you saw me sand it and paint it, and I'm happy with the turnout. So now it comes down to installing and working on this brand new control panel. I got to get the slot cut for the T-molding, and unfortunately it's late and I don't have the slot right now at the moment, the slot cutter. I don't have the slot cutter at the moment, so I'm probably going to just end this part, and tomorrow I will finish the machine and post the final part, because I have to actually lay the overlay on here. Speaking of which, hang on one second. Alright, so I had to go grab the CPO. It was inside. So what's really great about this is that it's been correctly sized to a Konami control panel, and there's an extra, I believe, nearly, I'd say probably 3/8 on either side. When you line it up evenly, there's about 3/8 on each side and all around it that I can use to tuck under the T-molding, like I say, to prevent kids from peeling up the corners. But that should give you a general idea there of how it's going to look when it's done. There goes the wind. I'm here in the garage and the wind's going crazy, but so I take that back. But anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, I think I'll just end this part because it's 100 degrees, and I'm going to get up early in the morning tomorrow. Go get the slot cutter bit, pick that up, get the slot cut, paint the. Well, I guess I really don't have to paint. I was going to paint around the edge, so the T-molding in the area didn't cover. Would get blacked out, but I guess if this is going to wrap around the corners, it isn't a big deal. But I'll probably have to do it on the back side. But brand new control panel. The other one is 2 Swiss cheese. So yeah, I got to get this done. I got some Lexan I have to cut for this, and once I get the control panel done and wired up and the Lexan cut, this project will be done. So stay tuned for the final part. I got a lot done this time in this part, so we'll see how it turns out at the very end, and hopefully it should be good. So stay tuned.